So I was the god of Warcraft 2. My career was just getting started. I was in a wonderful relationship with this woman that I dated for 7 years. My life was like on the up and up, and this thing completely took over my life. Have you ever seen this documentary called Web Junkies about the internet problem in China?
I haven't seen that, but I'm aware of the problem.
It's a documentary from 2014, and it starts with a kid just crying. And they're like, why are you crying? And so China had declared PC rooms, internet, video game addiction a national emergency. So they said it's okay. We set up these centers, and you could either poison or drug your kid and just drop them off there, or you could lie to them and tell them they're going to like a camping trip and then just drop them off there. And then they stay there for 90 days and it's like a prison. And the start of the movie, yeah, look at the kid crying. You see that?
Wow. So
they can't stop playing video games. They can't stop watching porn. They can't function. So this thing, in the movie at some point, I'll spoil it, they escape, like from...
Is this a documentary?
Yeah, it's a documentary. They escape from the madhouse at one point. Like the kids, they form a plan. And where do they go? They go to the PC room down the street.
They just can't help
They
themselves.
can't stop. So
wow. It almost looks like an independent film. That's why I asked if it's a documentary.
No, it's a documentary.
The way they've shot it is very interesting.
Because for me, you know me. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
But I've been to over 1,000 AA meetings, and I don't drink. I mean, why do you do that? And I'm like, because I can't stop porn. I can't stop video games. I can't stop gambling. And I know that they have meetings for that too, but they're harder to find. They're more shameful. There's less people. And if I go to an AA room and I'm talking and there's a guy speaking about how he got clean from alcohol, I just listen to him, and every time he says alcohol, I replace it with porn, video game. And I'm like, and so I'm sitting on Warcraft 2, and I'm something's missing from my life and my rage and my anger and all my addictions and my mental illnesses are coming out in this Warcraft game. The game is sort of on auto, so it's like who can do the things the fastest. Then I start talking shit. I'm gonna skull fuck your parents, you dumb motherfucker. This is a kid,
oh my god.
And I'm like all the way people talk, like all their demons come out.
Right.
And I'm playing kids, and they're like, why? What is a skull fuck? And I'm like, I am a horrible person. And then one day, I was the king of this map. Like in this one area in my life where my art career is kind of going good, but not really. And I don't know how to be in a relationship. And I'm just sort of lost in my mid-20s. I don't know who the fuck I am. In this game, I am God. I'm God. And I'll go out and I'll be checked out. I'll be out with my friends.
How many hours a day are you playing this game?
I'm not going to lie. It would be like all day. I'd be like, oh, I got to go work. And so it was the first time in my life.
10 hours a day? 8 hours a day?
No.
12?
Like 18 hours, 20 hours a day.
Ooh.
So I would play this game, and I would lie. I started lying. I started lying to my friends about what I was doing. And when I was out, I'd be checked out. They'd be talking about, hey, what this new thing, we're going to go here. And I'd be like, I storm. It's like, dude, you're laughing, and I could laugh with you today because it's fucking 20 years ago.
Oh my
but
God.
at the time, I don't want to admit to you that I played the fucking game 20 hours a day. I'd be like, yeah, I played 8 hours.
Well, listen, I had a video game addiction.
I know.
A hardcore one.
Right.
So I get it.
But see, we're older guys. I meet kids today. I was talking to a kid the other day. He's 20 years old, and he said, I can't get hard, and I'm a virgin. And I said, wait, hold on, back up. Guys like you and me, like older dudes, all have the same story of how we saw our first pornography. It's always print, right? It's always it's Playboy, Hustler.
Exactly.
It's always print. It's a naked photo on a piece of paper.
Dude, I had a whole bit about how we would find it in the forest.
It's in the forest. It's in your parents'
garage, stepfather's garage.
That's our generation.
That's what we found. And then the first time you saw porn, how old were you? Like physical porn.
Like with the moving?
The moving.
I was in junior high, so 13, 14.
I think I was probably around there too. Maybe I was 14.
And pixelated, right? It's on the Showtime with the.
No, I saw VHS
scrambled
tape. I saw a VHS tape. That was the first time I ever saw it.
My head fucking exploded.
Holy shit.
And now I'm like, God damn, I got to find a place in my house. Anyways, I could go on and on about...
Your brother's a cock blocker.
He's a cock blocker. He fucking blocked me from myself. So I bring this up because this is what we had to do to bust a nut back in the day. It's not that hard today. It's everywhere. So I meet this 20-year-old kid, and he goes, I'm a virgin. I've heard your story before because your story is every old guy's story. My story is my mom was watching me. She left the YouTube video, Baby Shark or some shit up, and she went to the bathroom, and I clicked Pokemon, and then it was Pokemon cosplay triple anal gangbang, and that's the first thing I've ever seen at age 4.
Whoa.
Straight to anal, age 4.
How is that possible?
Dude, if you have an unblocked phone, like, it's very easy.
How's a kid going to get to Pokemon porn? Is it that quick? Like
Jamie?
That doesn't... Is that back in the day?
That could have happened, sure, yeah.
Is this also like back in the day when YouTube used to have it set up? Like, did they have restrictions back in the day? Because when things first started going up, there was a lot of people sneaking things in that weren't supposed to be on there, and then they would catch them.
Still be for all I don't know.
But they didn't have porn. None of those have had
I don't think so, but I think people can probably get away. It could probably be up there for like 5 minutes before it gets taken down or something.
You know what's so crazy is that Twitter still has porn.
Right.
Like hardcore porn. Like if you let your kid look at your phone and they click on Twitter, they could see someone taking the ass.
I have a blocked phone. Yeah, that could happen. So,
whoa.
So this kid's like, that's my story, and that's most young people's story now. It isn't they found their dad's Playboy in the forest.
They accidentally stumbled upon something online.
Or some kid that doesn't, it wasn't an accident.
Someone tells them,
some
hey,
older brother goes, hey. So my first visual programmed into my young mind isn't a still image with a woman with a huge bush. It's fucking anal penetration. That's my first image, and as the addict craves novelty, as you get older, you need more and more. So by the time I'm 13, I need prolapsed anus stuff, I need transsexual, I need gay sex, so he says, this kid is 20 years old, he's never had sex, he's like a simp, an incel, whatever they call him. Mm-hmm. He uses Viagra to get half hard, he can't even get fully hard, and his life is just scrolling. It's just porn, video games, porn, and we could sit here and we could laugh at it, and I have laughed at it, but that's a problem. That's a problem. So if I take it back to when I'm 24, when the technology was way less, I missed my first deadline. I was late to work. I lost that girlfriend, not just because of that, because of other issues too, but I didn't get up for one weekend from Friday to Sunday without pissing, drinking water, and at some point, I had found this arch enemy on this Warcraft game. He'd win one, I'd win one, one more. He'd win one more. And the guy was like a British guy who had a wife and kids. He's like, bro, I got a life, dude. And I'm like, fuck you, pussy. We go. Hours. I'm seeing fucking wizardry in my mind. I'm seeing paladins. I'm seeing them. I feel like God. When I finally got up, I fucking collapsed. My legs were gone. And then I almost had to call 911 because they just wouldn't work for an hour. And I called my friend who's a doctor, and they're like, you're dehydrated, go drink some water. And if Jamie just Googles Korean video game overdose, it's always a Korean. It's always an Asian. They play video games to death. There's a Korean family.
Why do you think that is?
The culture there. It's like intense. If we think we suffer, like, the addiction that most people, if you play whack-a-mole, you're like, hey, I used to be addicted to sex, gambling, and I jump, and I'm addicted to this. The one where you can hide in plain sight where everyone pats you on the back is workaholism, right? I could work all day and night, and in this culture, you get pat on the back. Asian culture is the same, except if you fail, you either kill yourself and you're an absolute disgrace. And, it's like in Japan, the suicide rate was really high. Now it's in Korea. But it's all, your identity is tight. Like, who are you? Oh, I'm a podcaster. I'm this. You are only what your job is. And if you're not good at it, then what's your drug? Oh, I'm going to fucking just zone out in this video game PC room. My life's not going well. There's a man and a wife in Korea. I saw this in some documentary that they would keep going to the internet room to play this video game, like where you virtually raise, like The Sims or something like that they forgot to feed their own kid. And their kid died, and they went to jail for it. And then when they went out, it's like, this is a fucking problem. This is like a real problem. And we live in a culture where there's things that are accepted addictions, right? If you fucking do opioids and heroin and like, I've been to those rooms, man. I see how they treat people. If you're like a heroin addict, there's a hierarchy. You're a real drug addict. But if you smoke weed, come on, man, you're not going to OD from that. If you look at the amount of people that kill themselves now, like it's almost normalized, and how many of my friends have done that, how many of people that you know that, and especially during this pandemic, the suicide rate's gone up like crazy. That's a fucking real problem, man. Like, and people, when I think of Bourdain and I think of myself and even starting the show off giving you compliments, we live in a culture that doesn't know how to, when people go, don't shoot the messenger, people say that because the messenger gets shot. We don't know how to ask for help. We don't know how to receive help. We don't know even how to give help. Like, if I try to help one of my friends who's like addicted to video games and jerking off, it's like, get the fuck out of here, Dave. You don't fucking, I'm like, right. Bro, just trying to help.
Yeah, well, that is just about the craziest story you're ever going to hear in your life. So, as you can see, violent video game addiction can be a life-threatening problem if it gets this bad. We have to fucking do something about this in our society. We have to. We need to strive to find solutions right now to start curving things away from the destructive path toward a positive direction. And that is just what I intend to do in the next video in this series, part 4, coming soon. So stay tuned for the epic conclusion to this series. Coming soon, guys. I'll see you guys there. For now, this is Nate, signing off.